Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, visiting Parkway Subaru, and they just happen to have two 2019 Subaru Ascent. Now the Ascent is a new vehicle, completely new vehicle by Subaru. It's a 3-row vehicle and much larger than any other Subaru ever made. So I'm going to try to show these off. Now these vehicles are here for display for customers. I will not be able to take a test drive, but I'm going to try to show you and get some details about them that you may not have seen anywhere else. So let's go ahead and check it out. According to the literature, it says an exclusive touring grille design is added on the touring over the limited. Now there's a limited, and there is a touring. So I don't know if you can see a difference, because I can't. The only difference that I see in these particular front ends is that this one does not have the front camera, and the touring has a front camera. So looking at the front end, you can see it has the LED fog lights as well as a adaptive LED projector headlight with an LED accent around the outside, chrome bezels, chrome on the outside of the grille. It has a standard bulb for your turn signal, as well as your reverse lights and your turn signal in the back. Now the bottom portion is what appears to kind of simulate a carbon fiber type look in the plastic, in the flat black plastic. And there's that chrome accent. Now that black plastic continues on around the vehicle. Now on the touring, it has a front camera located right here below the emblem. Your eyesight cameras, or just like in previous models, they're right there on either side of the rearview mirror. This touring is sitting on a 245/50 Vulcan tire, wrapped around 20-inch aluminum wheels in a two-tone, like a gray, silver, and the aluminum popping through there. It also has 4-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all 4 wheels. Looking at the profile of the vehicle, it has the plastic there across the bottom. It also has a interesting use of chrome there at the bottom as well. Chrome around the glass, and the pillars are blacked out, giving it that one solid look. The rear glass has the privacy glass in it, and then you have the flat black roof rails there on the top. There's a turn signal indicator on the side mirror, and then you have the chrome handles as well. So looking at the inside of the door, here in the front, it has a interesting combination. So the exterior color is a brown, like a darker brown, and then the leather trim seats are a different color brown here. Then you have a tan, and then you have this synthetic simulated wood grain right in here. It looks pretty good though. Now it's all soft to the touch above about right here. So you have soft touch here, and this is kind of like a Nerf type material that's soft. It's not super soft, but it is soft. Then you have a perforated leather, simulated leather up in here, and your armrest is similar, like a kind of vinyl, I guess you can say. Very soft, by the way, the armrests. And I find that it's a pretty common thing in Subarus, is the really soft armrest. Also, this has a pocket right in here, but it also has this little indentation, so you can kind of grab that and grip it.
See right here? Yeah.
Here's your 2 presets on your seats. And this is a slightly soft to the touch surface. And your front 2 are automatic windows, so you have 1 touch down, and it is a laminated glass. 1 touch up. There's bottle holders. This one has the Harman Kardon sound system as well. And your blind spot indicator is right there on the inside of the side mirror, that little black spot. So in the blind spot, somebody in your blind spot, it'll illuminate that place right there. And check out the sill plate. So it's a large plastic durable sill plate. So when you're getting in and out of the vehicle, you know, protects that part of the vehicle. Another thing I want to point out is all the way down, you notice this part right here is relatively clean. The reason why is when you close this door, it goes all the way down. So you notice there's some road debris, road dirt and stuff like that on the side of the vehicle. Well, that's not going to show up here. So when you're getting in the vehicle with long clothing that's draped, you know, maybe a dress or a trench coat, something like that, or just your pant legs, it's not going to accumulate too much dirt here on the inside of the door, so it won't get you dirty theoretically when you get in the vehicle. So the power seat here on the driver, you're able to go forward and back, up, down, tilt, and you also have a lumbar adjustment. It even has a thigh extender here, this manual, so just pull that out like so. So it's really nice, leather trimmed, heated and ventilated here on the touring trim level. Perforated leather here, and it's has like a thick leather feel. To the left of the steering column, you have some buttons here. You also have a fuse box and a little place to put your cell phone, and a tilt and a telescoping steering column. So looking at the back door here, one thing I noticed, the back door opens up really wide. So you can see it's not quite a 90-degree angle, but that helps out a lot with loading everybody in, especially when they're climbing between the seats, getting to the third row. Just gives you plenty of room. So the inside of the back door, a little bit different from the front in that it has this more forward cup holder. So this is kind of deep in there, so that way the cup or bottle or whatever doesn't topple over so easy. And has a little bit of a oblong shape to allow for different size cups. But you notice it's in that forward position, so when you're sitting in the captain's chair there, the seats back here, you have it's easily accessible. But also if kids are in a car seat, they can reach it a little bit easier as well. You do have the bottle holders here at the bottom. Little armrest is soft just like the front. You have the handle there. The rest of it, as far as the styling goes and the colors and everything, basically just like the front door, as you can see there. Also has a shade, and look at the size of this glass. I mean, this window is huge. You have the privacy glass, but look how big that is, especially compared to the front window. And it has that same feature with the door extending all the way to the bottom, so that way it keeps that portion clean. This one has the captain's chairs in the second row. You can have a 3-passenger second row if you'd like. This one, now that's in the certain trim levels, which I'll leave all that different trim level information in the description. But this one in particular, I don't have one to show you, but there's a 3-row option. They are heated seats, by the way, and the controls are right in here, as well as the climate control. You have 2 USB ports, a lot of USB ports in this vehicle, a AC adapter there, and then you have these cup holders that extend out there at the bottom. Now the one that's in the door seemed to be the most useful. So this is open, but it does have a little bit of a hump there in the center portion. Now the floor is completely flat. There's no hump there in the center portion to speak of. Ever so slightly maybe, but it's nothing that's going to get in the way of your feet. You have the armrest there. Also handles. There's handles here on the side of the seats. This is for helping people navigate to the third row seats by grabbing the top of those chairs, just giving them something to hold on to while they're walking through there. So 1 and 2, so you have that 2 positions there. This is kind of a cargo mode. You can also just lift this up It'll go forward and release the bottom of the seat real easily, slide forward to access the third row, and then you have a little step there to get in. These seats also recline, so you use this lever there, and it will, if you push it, then it'll recline slightly. So you can see that's the farthest it reclines. So looking at the third row seats, you can see it does have significant amount of legroom there. It's not anything like the front seats or anything, but it does have a little bit of height off the floor, and that's what I always look for in a third row seat, is the height off the floor. Because even if you do have a lot of legroom, if the floor is really low, then it's going to make your knees sticking up in the air if you're an adult. Now typically, you know, kids or smaller people would sit back here. Also car seats, you do have the latch system on all these rear seats. But now I have the seats, they recline, okay? So the back of the seat articulates. So this left seat, that 40% portion, it's a 60-40 split seat to add to your cargo space, but I have this left portion at its first locking position. So as you push it back, this is the first locking position, and this seat is all the way back. So to give you an idea of an articulation of the different locking positions you can have on the third row seat. I'm assuming that this one on the left, this first portion, is to help with, you know, adding a little bit of extra cargo space, because it would be kind of awkward for somebody to sit this way, maybe even a car seat. I'm not sure, maybe, you know, I'm not sure, but anyway, that's the articulation of these seats. Now you have cup holders, tie downs. You also have a place to put a shade, so your shade can reach all the way up here, or you can have it in the back. So it's useful there, because a lot of people fold these rear seats down when they're not using them and use this space for cargo. You do have 2 USB ports, a little storage space there. You have tie downs, climate control vents here on the ceiling. There's your center seat belt. So if you have all the passenger seats occupied, this is your cargo space back here, and I'm going to put all the dimensions and everything in the description, the volumes and all that stuff. Now you have a subwoofer here on the right side. Then you have some tie downs here. You can put of course, your shade, which I'll show you where that is located right now. Have a little light here, 12-volt power supply. This lifts up, and there's your shade. Okay, so this shade can be taken out. You can pop that cover off there, and you can take it out, and then you can put it in position. Now under here, you have a little bit of storage space there. This pops up, and you have your tie hook, your tow hook basically, that attaches to your bumper under a little square cover, and then a screwdriver. You also have, let's move the shade a little bit, tools for your spare tire under here. And there's some more tools over here. Closing the power liftgate, you can push this button to close it, or you can just simply pull down on it like this. Just pull it a little bit, it'll go down all the way. The backup camera is located here on a slightly offset right in here, and the camera for the rear view mirror is located right here. So that way you can see the line here that the windshield wiper goes across and cleans that area in front of the camera. Parking sensors across the back. You also have a tow hook behind this cover, a tow hitch, sorry, and then you have the dual exhaust tips back here. So here on the passenger side, it has a pocket similar to what you found over there next to the steering wheel for cell phones or whatever. Just kind of a quick access pocket right here. It goes across that you can set keys down, phone, or whatever. Locking glove compartment that's felt lined. Here's your leg room. Power seat here on the passenger side. It doesn't go up and down, it just goes forward and back and in a tilt. It is a heated and ventilated, just like the driver's seat. Really nice looking seats and comfortable. So taking a look under the hood here, you can see this scooping air down to the intercooler that's mounted on top of the engine with the intake. There's a battery on this side, has an insulated firewall. The McPherson struts are integrated into the unibody structure of the vehicle. Okay, so it has a boxer engine where it has 2 cylinders on each side, it's opposing each other, and the heads are on the outside on either side. And there's the intake on top. The exhaust flows out of the bottom on both sides. Now this is a turbocharged, intercooled, chain-driven dual overhead cam engine. 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine on all trim levels. So it's 260 horsepower at 5,600 RPMs and 277 pound-feet of torque. Now it shows between 2,000 and 4,800 RPMs. Now it's mounted to a Lineartronic CVT system. Basically, it simulates gear ratios, basically. It simulates 8 gear ratios. You can actually use the paddle shifters to, you know, downshift or upshift, however you want to do it. Okay, so sitting here in the driver's seat, really comfortable seats. And I really like the comfort of Subarus in general. Leather wrapped steering wheel, adaptive cruise controls here on the right side. You have the ability to adjust the screen here, and then your audio controls, change your audio source, voice recognition, paddle shifters here on the back side, headlight controls with the automatic feature, windshield wiper controls. So you have that little screen between the gauges. You can get some more information there. You also have a screen up here. You can adjust it with these buttons here, so we can cycle through and get some more information. And here's your touch screen. Actually has a CD player, that's interesting. So you have AM, FM, satellite radio. The clarity is nice, and even though we have a glare with the sun coming in, you can actually see the screen pretty good. I'm really surprised at that. Sometimes there's a significant glare, but this one just really handles the light well. So let's go ahead and push this home button. So you can see it has the icons here, radio, media, different media sources like a CD player, USB, Bluetooth audio, another USB, and auxiliary. So it kind of cycles through that. Let's go back home, then you can pair your phone. Let's look at navigation. Let's see if we can pinch zoom. Yep, we can pinch zoom. Zoom in and out, we can move it around. We can go to the menu. We can search for addresses, put in a specific address. Go to apps, Pandora, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Subaru, Starlink, TravelLink, all this stuff is really good. Let's go back here, and then your My Subaru, this is where you can make an appointment for service and all that stuff. Roadside assistance, pretty neat. You have physical buttons down here to go to your radio map and all that stuff, as well as changing through different tracks or whatever. And then you have a physical volume knob and tune through the stations. Then you have a near field communication. So if you want to pair your cell phone, simply place your phone there on the if it's capable of that, just placing it right there, it'll automatically recognize that something's close to that, and it will attempt to initiate the pairing of the phone, and then you can look at your screens and do all that. Climate controls down here. You have a dual zone. It's actually tri-zone, so you have the rear climate, driver, and passenger all separate. You can sync those together if you like, but you can adjust those all separately. Then you have a 3-stage cooled and heated seats, recirculate the air, front and rear defrosters, and then you have the side mirrors turn on with the rear defroster. A little storage pocket right in here. You see it's a USB port in there as well, so let's go ahead and zoom in. So you can see there's, actually that's a 12-volt power supply. So let's take that out. Yeah, 12-volt power supply, and the USBs are here with your auxiliary input. And then you have your brake hold feature and your X mode, giving you more power to your all 4 wheels at the same time, basically. typically it'll keep most of the power on the front wheels, from what I understand, with the all-wheel drive system on Subarus. And then you have cup holders separated in the middle. And the cup holders in the back in the third row, they have the ability to put a tablet in there, and I'm assuming this is opened so you can put devices in here as well. Let's look at the shifter. When we put it in reverse, it's actually showing the sky because the tailgate is lifted up. But you have a backup camera. The clarity is pretty good considering it's aiming at the sun. Neutral, drive, and then you have a manual mode for your shifters. Then your parking brake is electronic parking brake. Armrest, very soft, just like on the side doors. This lifts up. This is where you find a little tray here and a bunch of papers and stuff. Notice this is felt lined and a bunch of junk in here. So this vehicle is a demo, so it's got a bunch of junk in here. But it does have places for wires to go in and out. Now the rearview mirror is interesting because not only does it have a mirror portion, but also you can flip it, and it also has a camera. So the camera is in the back where I showed you. Now right now it's just showing, you know, up in the sky, but it gives you a view behind the vehicle. So when we do the test drive of this vehicle, we'll get a chance to see that. Now it's very narrow. I was kind of surprised it's not quite the full size, but it is kind of narrow, but I guess it does allow to have the regular mirror as well. Your HomeLink garage door opener controls, there's actually 2 of them under here, and you have a digital compass showing you which way the vehicle's facing. Conversation mirror is located here, and place to put your shades is right above it. You have tap lights. You have your safety features here, and then this is for your panoramic sunroof. It's a massive sunroof in this vehicle, and it has a shade that covers 100% of the light, which I'll show you that in a minute. The visor has a little clip, mirrors and lights. It also slides out. Interesting that they're using this garage door opener when there's actually, you can pair it right here. I guess they can check out my channel for videos on how to pair it, and that way they can do that. But anyways, let's look at this sunroof because it is a huge sunroof. So you can see that. And let's go ahead and move the shade back. Wow, this is a fixed portion back here, and this is the part that moves, so let's go ahead and move that. Alright, that's as far back as it goes. That's a pretty good opening right there. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. So tailgate's up, so it's not really helping out with that because there's customers back there. But anyways, it can give you an idea of what it looks like with the seats and the pillars anyway. I'll get the full video. It's going to be like another month or so before I have access to this 100%, so I can actually do a full in-depth video on this vehicle. But I just wanted to show you as much as I could of it while I have access to it briefly. Now there is customers and everywhere. Also, I forgot to mention there's the heated steering wheel control there on the right side. Usually I have a shade. If you've seen any of my other videos, I have a shade up. I have more time. I can, you know, go through it thoroughly and explore all the little features. But anyways, this is kind of a quick overview and rundown of what I'm experiencing. And so we're going to try to get some customer testimonials. We'll see if that happens. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. So Nathan Koch is here, and he just got through talking with a whole bunch of people today, checking out the new Ascent. And so what was the type of people? Were they new people? Were they people that you've seen before regarding this new vehicle by Subaru?
Yeah, it was really exciting to have it here. We saw a wide variety of people. It's interesting, Subaru as a brand has been getting a lot of new customers. Last year, over 60% of all new Subaru owners were first-time Subaru owners. And I think that trend is continuing with the Ascent. It's broadening our range. We had a lot of people that were previously disappointed that we didn't have a full-size SUV that could fit 7 or 8 people. Now that we have that, we had a few people with Subarus coming in looking to trade it in and get into a larger one. But we also had people coming from BMW and even Audi coming by to look in to see what kind of SUV that we offered and what kind of features it had.
What was the main features that they mentioned that they liked?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Two new features that are especially important that are on the touring trim level are the 180-degree front-facing camera that you can look at if you're coming in a tight corner and not sure if you're going to make it around. And they also have what's called a smart rear view mirror. So if you have a bunch of cargo or people lined up in the back seats and you can't quite see out the back window, you flip a switch on the rear view mirror and it turns into an LCD screen that has a camera mounted on the back of the car, so it bypasses all those people. And you can then see behind you even as you're driving down the road, not just as you're backing up. So that's a really neat feature.
Anything else that people kind of mentioned that they were really liked about it?
Yeah, I mean, some of the things, the second row moves forward really easily. You flip one switch. There's actually two different spots that you can flip to get the seat to fold forward and scoot forward to have ease of access to that third row. People that own Subarus notice it was very familiar to them because it's built on the same global platform. It's going to be comfortable to drive. It's going to feel similar to an Outback, just a larger scenario there. And it does come standard with the eyesight safety system. So the emergency braking, the adaptive cruise control, the lane departure warning, lane keep assist, all those are standard even on the base model trim levels.
Now, somebody asked me if they have a Subaru Forester and they step up to this, would it be a huge difference, or they should just keep their Forester, or what's the difference between the Forester and the new Ascent as far as size goes?
Yeah, so it is pretty significantly longer. I wrote down the numbers because I hadn't memorized them yet. But compared to the Forester, the Ascent is 15 inches longer, 5 inches wider, and 6 inches taller. A lot of people are also comparing it to the Outback, and so compared to that, it's about 7 inches longer, 4 inches wider, and 6 inches taller than the Outback. And so it's even larger than that, but they did that to get that third row in there, and it's a functional third row. I sat in the third. I'm 6'2", and I sat in the third row myself. I had to push the second row forward a little bit to get back there. So I think it's been designed for teenagers or smaller children, but you can fit a full-size adult back there.
Is there anything that in particular that people said, hey, I'm going to kind of wait on it and see, maybe there's a particular feature they didn't like or whatever?
Yeah, there weren't a ton of things that people really picked out. I think the biggest ones is there's only one engine option right now. It's a 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder boxer engine, flat 4. And so some people may have wanted a 6-cylinder, but even still, this 2.4 turbo has more power and torque than the 6-cylinder Outback. So that's nice to have. And then I noticed that some people weren't as happy with the fact that the second row seats weren't completely flat. They're angled a little bit, but that didn't seem to be a huge deal. I just had one customer mention that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And hopefully we'll get the full video, and maybe you'll help me out with that when the actual vehicles come in. We can test drive it and all that stuff. And tell us about your website.
Yeah, man. So I just got this launched about a month ago. It's meyouandsubaru.com. That's the handle for all my social media as well. Me, you, and Subaru, spelt out like you see on my photo book there from a trip I went on. My YouTube channels, Me, You, and Subaru, Instagram, Facebook. We're here once again in Wilmington, North Carolina at Parkway Subaru. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to help.
How long have you owned a Subaru?
I got my first Subaru just after high school in about 2011, and then I upgraded to my 2015 Crosstrek in August of 2015.
And that's when you made this trip?
Yeah,
so
that following May, I left for a 2-month trip, 13,000 miles and 13 national parks all the way around the country, which this photo book documents. Went to a bunch of different national parks and met a ton of people all by myself. It was a blast.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you a lot, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
That's nice. So what's your name?
Barbara Howard. This is Charlie.
Charlie. Charlie.
We're a therapy team.
Oh, nice.
Here in Wilmington.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Go to the hospital, go out to the airport, read with kids at the library. And we're looking to buy one of these cars.
Nice. Okay.